Good morning again. I was just watching a video by Sunshine Shoulders on my way to work. I wasn't really watching it. I had my eyes on the road. I was listening to it. But he was talking about an email he had gotten from someone talking about why things are going downhill in the Philippines as far as tourism and stuff. And talking about the infrastructure issues and things. And all the red tape and stuff. Red tape doesn't really seem to apply too much for tourism, I would think. As he pointed out, you can go in as a tourist and stay for like 3 years in the Philippines, keep renewing your visa. I don't know what kind of red tape you have to deal with if you're just there as a tourist. If you're living there, you might have a lot more red tape, you know, but that main thing, he was talking about the infrastructure. and he was making the point that people don't go to the Philippines for the infrastructure. And especially if you're a tourist, I have to say I think he's right, because that's part of the charm, you know, going somewhere like the Philippines compared to being back here in America and driving around on super highways with thousands of vehicles around you everywhere you go. Part of the charm of the Philippines is going over there and that more laid back kind of, you know, developing tropical country kind of vibe that you just don't get with perfect infrastructure. It'd be nice if all the roads were really well taken care of and maintained. Instead of, you know, you're driving along and next thing you know, here's a sign that says, sorry for inconvenience, you know, and suddenly the pavement ends and you drop down like 6 inches and are driving over dirt or something. That's interesting. Can be an inconvenience for sure sometimes, but that's not why people go to the Philippines. Having that more rustic charm is part of the attraction, I think, for a lot of people anyways. I know the first time I went over there, and you know, we went over from Puerto Princesa to the underground river, and we were staying at Dalian Resort next to the Sheraton over there on Sabang Beach, I guess. And beautiful, beautiful place once you get back in there. But man, you know, you're twisting along all these like mountain roads in a tourist van, practically running over all the little doggies and kids and people drying shit in the roads and everything. And then you get over there and we were bouncing around through the palm trees on this like muddy rut. You know, had to pull off to let this other van come back through from the other direction that was leaving when we got there. But man, once you get in there, there's your beautiful beach. And as much as we like to bitch as foreigners when we're there about, you know, how the roads aren't very great and all that kind of thing, that really is part of the attraction. I mean, if you want perfect roads and all that infrastructure, and that's what you're going for, you can go to Manila, you know, BGC, Cebu City, different places where they've got lots of roads and the tourist bubble, and go hang out at really super nice hotels and malls that are better than anything you have in America anymore. I mean, back in my younger days, man, I loved hanging out at the mall, you know. Malls in America, basically, in a lot of places, are just crap anymore. They're all dying and being replaced with multi-use developments and, you know, senior citizen centers and shit, whatever they're trying to turn them into to try and save the, you know, get some money out of the space. Whereas you go to the Philippines, man, they got beautiful, beautiful malls with everything you could possibly want. If you're going to the Philippines looking for infrastructure, you can do it. That guy Jim from the, you know, the one channel Asian Adventures with Jim or whatever, it seems like he went back over to the Philippines for you know, his little like court appearance or whatever, and so far everything I've seen from him, he's been just hanging out in the really nice, you know, tourist bubble resorts in Mactan in that area. You can go over there if you want, and you don't have to deal with all the roosters and, you know, dirty, you know, pollution from the loud motorbikes outside your house all night long. though there's plenty of those in the city, obviously. But they do have places in the tourist bubble areas where they try to keep that stuff to a minimum and cater more to those people that can't stand that kind of stuff. It's an annoyance when you have to deal with it, but once again, why would you want to go on vacation to the Philippines just to see what you can see here, you know? I mean, I can see palm trees and great infrastructure and beautiful beaches right here in Florida, you know? And plus we've got Mickey Mouse and a brand new Universal Studios park and everything else. If all you're looking for is infrastructure and a tropical environment, we've got places you can find that right here in America. And obviously there are plenty of other countries to choose from if you want to go to them. But I have to agree with Mr. Calvin on that. I don't know why, what the obsession is with some people on the infrastructure thing. It's nice, you know, it's nice to bitch about places. You know, people just love to find stuff to bitch about. If you're going to the Philippines, you can't expect it to be America. It's the Philippines. And personally, I was just looking yesterday at some video my wife was showing me, and like on Google Maps and stuff, like this one friend of ours, and I guess she lives out in this one area around where we have some property, and there's another friend of my wife that has, you know, her American husband, and she was showing me some stuff that they posted, you know, on Facebook and everything at their house, and looking on Google Maps and showing me that area and where it goes out toward our property where we have, and it's beautiful, you know, it's beautiful. Not having those big, huge, wide roads everywhere and all that kind of stuff. You don't need that everywhere. And, you know, most of the Filipinos who are living out in those areas, they're happy with what they've got. And you can get around. It's not like over here where you need to worry about, you know, everybody driving around in their SUVs and tractor trailers all over the place and stuff like that. And everybody just has to have a nice big car to go anywhere. When you live in a place where people are cruising around on motorbikes and tricycles and stuff, you don't really need every single road to be capable of supporting all that kind of traffic. But I have to say, I agree with Calvin on that one. Personally, I'm looking forward to it when we get over there. Man, I was watching that stuff last night that my wife was showing me. And wow, you know, as much as I like my life here and all that kind of stuff, you know, I was off work yesterday, went out to the range and did some shooting and everything, and different things I can do here that I won't be able to do in the Philippines. But I was watching that stuff that she was showing me yesterday, and all the trees, the palm trees and the nice little roads, you know, just like narrow kind of concrete roads back in beautiful area around where we live there. And man, I was ready to go right now. You know, I need to stick around for a couple more years and take care of some things, you know, and I just don't want to quit too soon and be one of those people who's thinking, man, I pulled the plug a little bit too early. But every time I see that place over there and see some video and what it looks like and how beautiful it is, man, it just calls to me, you know. I love it over there. And for sure, it's not because of the infrastructure.